they keep them, and Timo Werner literally switches it on next season, and now his value is once again through the roof.
No, my brother.
I do think.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of The Football Show ZA. I'm your host, Zuko, and this is my other host, Adelie Williams.
Do it again.
Yeah. Squad. So yeah, man, I think let's just get straight into it. A lot of it's been happening in like football this week. We're nearing closer. We're nearing closer to what's this? A lot of the leagues starting. I think the UEFA Champions League's qualification is also starting soon. We just saw Rangers hammer Real Madrid in like a warm-up. So I don't know, Rangers might be like a dark horse. Who knows?
Everybody was getting hammered in preseason. Come on, let's not do that today. Especially not from you. You are the last person I want to hear.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Arsenal?
How has Arsenal's games been going?
Chief, we've been winning. We just won back-to-back. We beat Millwall. Now we beat Watford today.
Let's talk about the first two results.
Chief. Let's focus on the positive during preseason. You know,
no, 100%.
Positive. And you know, while we focus on the positive, I think it's also dope to see there's a lot of transfer movement right now. Euros are done. Euros are like a while back. You know, a certain club, a certain team from Europe won it. Well, obviously it's the Euros, but Italy won it.
You know. Yay, man. Let's move on. I'll never
not celebrate this one. But you know what? There's two players in the Euros that I really want to start off and talk with. One is from France, the other is from England, right? As a Man U fan, firstly, I actually just want to ask you, Varane to Man United is basically confirmed. Thoughts, feelings?
Honestly, dude, I think before I just get into Varane, the transfers that we have made so far, I think if you watch back to our first videos, what I told you was we needed a centre back. We needed to strengthen our defense. And we needed to actually get a different outlet for United because we are left heavy. So Sancho, I think the big thing that we're now trying to figure out obviously is just what's happening in the middle. But in terms of Varane, absolutely mega buy for us. And I think if you look at the price, if you look at the trophies we've won, for me it's actually really sad that we actually as football fans that we are these people. Actually, funny enough, just before you hopped on here, I saw a short little clip about Varane making mistakes, and I kind of had to literally in the group. I think he made a mistake against Manchester City. I think it was that he made a really big mistake and then but I quickly had to let these people in the group know that we are coming from the years.
You had to set them right.
We're coming from the years of West Brown, my friend. We had West Brown. There is nothing you can tell me
about the other guys, West Brown, O'Shea, hey.
Oh my goodness, we have this. Even Evans, he's doing something now, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, post Vidic Ferdinand era, it was sad. Post the
after Ferdinand, Vidic, Heinz, that hardcore we've really been struggling, and Jesus, if you're talking about clumsy defenders, Man United has had them all. We had two left-footed defenders for a while, my brother.
Do you think, and you know what, I'll probably always ask this question because when you come from another league, I almost worry when a player comes into the Premier League, if how well they'll adjust. Do you think he's going to adjust well into the Premier League? Do you think his type of play will fit in well, firstly with the Premier League and also Man United as a team?
No, absolutely, man. I think, to be fair, if you're talking about a creative player, you're talking about a playmaker, a player that needs to find his feet in terms of range, finding other players, etc. It's a different story. In terms of centre back, I think he is well experienced. We talked about the trophies he's won, the tournaments that he's played in. So you can just think about the opposition that he has come up against. He's definitely come up against a hell of a lot of different competition from different top tier teams in different leagues that he's definitely come up against. So he's been well tested for him to actually have won so many trophies. Although he was partnered with some of the greatest defenders, like I think the
such a
Premier League.
Ramos.
But like I do think we also have to give Maguire a little bit of credit. If we think about who he's going to be partnering with, although everybody's giving Maguire a lot of shit. Think about it. He was in the team of the World Cup, like the final team of the World Cup. He was in the final team of the Euros. He's actually a very solid guy. Like I mean, generally makes a mistake every now and then, but you have to kind of also look at the positive. I think the combination is going to be really sexy.
You know why I think, just quickly on Maguire, you know why I think like as rival fans we go in so hard on Maguire? Because of that most expensive defender tag. Those tags are very heavy on players. So every time a player like makes a mistake and the most expensive, we're like, this what they paid for?
Now you see now, let's really talk about this one. When Maguire was sitting down, right, and he heard he was going to Man United, do you think he was in any way, shape, or form involved in his price tag?
Absolutely not. He wasn't.
For him, he was just like Man United is coming, so I'm happy.
He wasn't. But that's not the conversation. The chat is that even though, and the thing is, it's not only to Maguire. Even like even bigger example would be Neymar, right? When Neymar's like record-breaking transfer happened, people were like, okay, cool, it's Neymar, he's a big talent. Few seasons later, people are like, was he really worth that amount of money? Because Neymar hasn't been in like Ballon d'Or conversations for at least since he left Barcelona.
For a minute, my friend.
Yeah.
They're losing the French league, my brother. This is the thing here.
Which is even
anyway,
sad.
But like just coming back to Man United, right? And like I think honestly, Man United fans, if I have to be very honest, we are quietly confident for the season that's coming up. And I'm not talking about
the league.
I'm not talking about winning the title. Okay. I'm talking about we actually gonna properly give this thing a go. I don't see Manchester City or even Liverpool running the gaps that they used to run on us.
No. I don't even think they're gonna run it on the rest of the league, to be honest with you.
Yeah, okay.
I think
to be fair.
No, but I think a lot of teams have caught up.
But the rest of the league gives this guys too much respect. Like sometimes you actually watch these games and you go, some of these guys aren't even trying. If we're honest, they're not even.
True, but I mean that's what happens. That's what happens when you're like, I guess, as a team, you play a certain way
what
and
do you think?
Buy in.
What do you think about the Man United team and how it's starting to shape up?
You're asking an Arsenal fan how I feel about
you as an Arsenal fan. Are we doing the double on you guys?
You didn't even do the double on the. I love this chat. I love this chat between Chelsea fans.
Who's going to be passing Varane and Aubameyang?
Have you seen Pepito? Have you seen?
I'm asking you. Is Aubameyang going to pass?
No. Don't give me a name. Let me volunteer a name. You know what? I think
Pepe plays the side of Shaw, though. You know Pepe's playing the side of Shaw.
So Beto.
He's gonna have to be doing.
No.
He's gonna have to be doing a lot of tracking.
Please. So Beto was Euro 2020. Please, my brother. Please, let's not even have this conversation. So Beto cannot. Do you understand? Do you understand? A skillful player from Africa can ruin dreams. Don't do this.
I really hope for you that Pepe finally finds his feet. I think Arsenal fans deserve one of your big what you call it. Sometimes you guys go in big on a player and you hope that he's gonna hit the ground running.
Yeah. You know what?
And I hope that he finally settles in and makes it.
Pepe is the same conversation with Maguire, right? He didn't have a say.
Get out of here.
No. Wait, listen to my context. He didn't have a say in how much money was paid for him. Pepe was paid for what? They paid 72 million and it was supposed to be paid out installment. At the time, Pepe was really good, right? 72 million, right? He was supposed to. Yeah.
Wow.
He was supposed to be at least a 35 million to 40 million rand player. I mean, not rand, but pound player. But the amount that was paid for him was a bit exorbitant. Now it's very hard. it's very hard as a forward to live up to such an amount when you're coming from League R, right? Easier for a defender because you're mainly judged on keeping goals out the
your ability to stop the thing.
Exactly.
Doesn't stop the thing.
With
exactly, no, absolutely.
With the attacker, it's different, you know? But I feel like Pepe has really paid up. But let me not digress, because my other question was, we spoke, especially now. I mean, right now we just spoke about big money transfers, right? Arsenal also have a big money transfer coming up. Ben White from Brighton and Hove Albion. His transfer. Can you tell me more about it? So Ben White is a center back, central midfielder type of player, right? So his current transfer fee is actually more than Varane's transfer fee, right? So let me tell you why Arsenal want to. Yeah, so Varane is going in, is coming into Man U at 40 or something million. Yeah. Ben White's coming at 50 million, right? So let me tell you why Arsene Wenger now, Arteta wants him, right? Firstly, he wants him because he's a ball-playing defender, right? He can, and that's the type of defenders Arteta wants. He wants players, defenders that can run with the ball, that can spot, that are good with their feet, that can spot kicks over underneath or wherever.
A good pass. A through ball, a long ball, absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. And players who can run with the ball. And Ben White brings all of those things. He's 23, so he's got a lot of years in him, right? So the whole strategy around Arsenal this transfer season has been to buy young players, even if it's a slightly bit more money, and then they're betting that But now it's a bit confusing with Ben White, right? So we bought Sambi Lokonga for 18 million, I think, from Anderlecht, right? Already in the past preseason games. This kid is...
What position does he play?
Who, Ben White or Sambi Lokonga?
No.
Lokonga. He plays central midfield, right? Already in the preseason, this kid is incredible. I watched him today against Watford. He was controlling the midfield and all those kind of things. He's great. Now, the issue why Ben White was almost a bit surprising to me, and probably many Arsenal fans, and why there's been conversation around comparing him and Varane in terms of price tag, is that this kid has won nothing. In fact, I think this is his second season at Brighton and Hove Albion. He was on loan at Leeds. And then he moved to Brighton and Hove Albion, and then they, obviously they groomed him, and he really did have a great season this past season. But now I'm like, guys, 50 million for someone who's 23 years
doesn't make sense
compared to someone who's won who's won a UEFA Champions League. I think more than once. Even Varane has won more than once. He's won La Liga more than once. He's won the club. All these kind of achievements, and I'm like,
pretty much won it all. Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm like, why are English players so high priced? Does it make sense for these guys to be this worth this much?
Listen, when I heard the price, the price that they're charging for Declan Rice, I was like, what are these people? In this economy, while clubs don't have money, you're charging 80 million for him.
It makes no sense. And it's like, guys, Declan Rice is good, but is he worth 80 million to anyone? 80 million? No freaking ways. It makes no sense to me. And every time I see, and it's been a recently occurring thing that English players are really they overpriced for some reason. Now another player that's also, I wouldn't say overpriced because I really I'm a stud for this player, Grealish. Right? Grealish is Grealish is a baller.
No,
I look at Grealish and I'm like, that's a baller's baller. Man City are in for him for around their first bid, I think, was 70 million according to the news and stuff. And then when you mentioned Declan Rice for 80 M, and I'm like, value, value. It makes no sense.
Okay, obviously, if you look at the position, finding proper CDM is really difficult. Okay?
It is.
Honestly speaking, finding proper CDMs, and if you look at the market, and that's essentially why this Pogba conversation is going on so long.
Yeah.
You guys are absolutely lucky that you guys got Party for a steal, because finding proper CDMs is difficult.
It is, especially like a young one.
I can see why it would be a little bit of a premium, but like in terms of 80 million for me, no, that does not make sense.
At best, I'm saying Declan Rice at best, and this is just up to good negotiating. 48 at best, because of age and because of the position. At best, I can't see 80 million go to this player.
If England won the Euros,
oh, don't even say it. All of them at least 100 M north.
You know, that's exactly what I'm thinking. If England won the Euros, what would his price tag have? What would his price tag have been?
No, bro,
it's what they call it. It doesn't make sense.
It's English tax at this point. Like, teams are just like paying for English tax. I mean, fair enough, the government incentivizes these teams to
absolutely.
To have homegrown talent.
Pulling the best players, etc.
I feel like for me, that simply says make your academies even better, like invest more so that these players can come in from your academies that are really this good, and then you can get that value from them in the long run. Because all these players literally come from bouncing around in academies. Declan Rice was in Chelsea's academy at some point. There's a lot of these players out there. So
I think, like, just talking about the season that's coming up, etc., and like it's a very random, small little thought that I thought about when we were talking about the season that's coming up, etc. And I was thinking it's actually going to be so exciting to see fans in the stadiums again, to just bring back a little bit of intimidation of the away team, because I felt like the games just lacked something, and like, sometimes there's like a little bit of a pressure you feel when you go to a Stoke, for example, like there's certain stadiums where you go and it's hostile.
Home ground advantage was gone in the previous season.
It's absolutely gone.
There was like, the thing is, you watch, like, I know like Man U versus Liverpool is like a big match, right? And the players also they know it's a big match. But also,
but like if the people aren't there,
Liverpool fans know when they go to Old Trafford, it's not just like them against the team, it's them against the fans too, because the stadium is compact and stuff. Same with Liverpool, with Man U fans. When they go to Liverpool and they hear you'll never walk alone, they know they're about to fight.
Sure. Like, you are in the trenches.
100%. But yeah, I'm actually like really looking forward to this season. Hey, like, I'm literally counting down the days. And I know we had a conversation like a while back of having that fantasy like Premier League and stuff.
Yeah, we're setting that up this weekend. This weekend and starting to share some links and stuff. It should be really exciting, man. Like, I'm actually really looking forward. I already know what my team looks like. I pretty much based off my team from last season. With a few small tweaks. Absolutely.
I'm gonna.
So for example, last season, if you played fantasy Premier League, right, and you didn't have Bruno in the squad doing the thing, either a captain or a vice captain, what will you do? So like this season, let's just continue. Let's not think about it. You know what I mean? Small things.
I was one of those people who didn't have Bruno, and only for like petty reasons. I was like, you know what? I can't do this. I can't support a Man U player who's this good.
That he's that good.
Until the end of the season, I was still fighting Bruno. That's how like my pettiness was at. People were like, yeah, no, he's got this many goals. I was like, aha, how many of them are penalties? Damn it. And then end of the season, I gave him his props.
Now you see, like, you guys need to stop doing this thing. You guys need to stop doing this thing of how many of them were penalties, because how many penalties did he cause himself? Come now, guys.
Do you mean the diving? The diving that's been happening? No, guys. No. But you know what? Speaking on Man U, actually, while we're still on the conversation of Man U and Old Trafford, Pogba might be going to PSG. Reports are that like conversations have started, and the context there is that Pogba was having contract negotiations with Man U, and then Man U. Yeah, so now those contracts are clearly stalling. I think Jorge Mendes is his agent, And I mean, look, these links to PSG might be legit, or they might be part of the negotiating tactic to say, hey, yo,
No, absolutely.
if you don't want us, PSG might want us.
I think Pogba's situation is a little bit of a tricky one, right? Because there's a few things at play here. Like,
wait. Before you start, I want to ask, and maybe add it into your answer. Do you think Pogba has lived up to his billing when he left Juventus to
No, I don't even have to work it into where
all right, go on.
We've seen glimpses of the Pogba that we thought we were buying. Honestly, Pogba literally could give you like hair-raising, goosebumps kind of football, where he literally just decides, now I'm taking control of the game. Nobody is at my level. And he literally unleashes a different kind of football that we've never seen. But it happens so sporadic.
Yeah.
It happens so sporadic. And then for you to be inconsistent in your delivery, right? And then still hold us hostage when it comes to negotiation time, I think it's a little bit of a dangerous one. Especially right now, and understand where Man United might come from. Right now, what leverage do you have? Like, there's so few clubs that can afford you.
True.
There are so few clubs that can afford you. Right now, only PSG can afford you. And if you want to go to PSG and we can make a little bit of money off you rather than you leaving,
no.
But can
PSG afford Pogba? Because
I think
they just spent, well, not even spent. When Gini Wijnaldum went there for free, Donnarumma went there for free. They spent big money on Ashraf Hakimi. I don't think
they have the money.
Yeah,
I think they do.
But I don't think they necessarily need Pogba. It won't be a good negotiation for Man.
The only reason I see PSG taking Pogba is to build their version of the Galacticos. I don't think that PSG need a Pogba. If you have the industrialness of Wijnaldum in that midfield, they have enough players out there that can create. They have Neymar, they have Mbappe, they have more than enough players who can create. So you're not bringing in a Pogba to come create for you. Do you know what I mean? So in my world, I'm kind of going.
That's a lot of
I
egos.
don't see it.
That'd be a lot of egos in that dressing room, hey?
But I think to me, like when I sit down and think about it, if I'm Pogba, why would I leave now?
Yeah,
here's the thing. Like, talk to your agent, right? If I'm Pogba, talk to your agent. Try and have as little drama around you as possible right now, right? Try and play nice. The team is literally building. I don't think that next season we're going to be really competitive. I think the season after. Then after that, you leave. So tell the team you want to sign a 3-year contract, do 2 seasons, and then leave.
How old is
You're still going to be well within his prime. Let me just listen.
Because also, I think his agent also is not Mino Raiola. I think it's Mino Raiola. Not Jorge Mendes. I don't know why I kept on saying Jorge Mendes. It's Mino Raiola.
No, this is Mino Raiola.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Pogba's 28, right? And the way that I see Pogba's game transitioning, right? I think Pogba is going to do exactly what Rooney did towards the end of his career, and I think he's going to do it much more successfully. So he's going to start playing where Pirlo used to play. He's going to play in the 6, so basically like a deep line playmaker. Sit between the midfielders. He has an engine on him, but if he doesn't have to use it, why not put him a little bit deeper? Just have him spray balls, be a playmaker. Essentially, what he used to be at Juventus when Pirlo was not in the Pirlo role. So essentially, what Juventus used to, when Pirlo used to move, then Pogba would slot into the deep line playmaker role and used to spray past.
And I feel like he enjoys that more because we know, like, not only is his passing range like really good, but his ability to thread a ball in behind the defense. I mean, we saw those passes to Mbappe.
And besides that, like, I think Pogba is very much an ego player, right?
Yeah.
Pogba is very much an ego player.
Yeah.
Give him that role and say, I want you to be the engine of my team. Give him that role and tell him, just sit and be a playmaker for us. Do what Jorginho is doing for Chelsea. Very minimal running, control the game.
True.
Literally, Pogba can literally thrive because he has the engine to every now and then pick up the ball and he decides to run literally to the other box. But other than that, he can reserve himself, save himself some years. I can totally see Pogba playing well into his 35.
Yeah, you know why I think? Because like when it comes to players, there's obviously so many like things that come into play, right? With Pogba, he's 28. He's looking for a contract right now. That's probably 3-4 years that would guarantee him a future up until at least 32. Yeah, and after then, can
Pogba will get it.
Yeah, but from who is the question?
See, here's the thing, right? I think right now, if there's some money involved up front, I don't think too many people can afford it, right?
Yeah.
But if we're talking about as a free transfer and we just give you a proper salary, I think there's quite a few teams that are in the mix. I think then a few more teams will come in the mix, but I don't think with how heavy some teams are, like I think quite a few teams are trying to offload first.
Yeah.
Real Madrid was busy. Real Madrid was busy with a massive offloading.
Oh, they're purging everyone in Madrid.
And there's quite a few teams that are just like literally trying to clear their books. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this last few weeks before we kick off now, even Man United is gonna have to clear their books a little bit because if you look at the team,
I saw Phil Jones also might be like there's interest from Newcastle and Everton. I forgot Phil Jones was at Man U, by the way, but yeah, that's another.
You know what the problem is, like this bastard, like this guy's actually legit sit on our bench, waiting, eating the money that they're getting paid until their contracts run out. And then they get sold to other teams, and then they got and then they're gonna come and give us stuff that imagine Johnny Evans at Leicester City giving us problems. Like what the hell is coming?
Yeah, I mean, look, I just think when it comes to Pogba, when it comes to Man U needing to offload players, it's going to be a long summer. Like, because as you rightfully said now, a lot of clubs are trying to offload. So there's a market, but there isn't necessarily a market, right, especially for big name players like Pogba. How many big name players have we seen move for an amount this transfer window? The only one that can pop in my head.
What the problem is, right? It's a buyer's market because everybody's cheaper. But the only problem is nobody has money.
Yeah.
It's a buyer's market. Even though these players are so cheap, nobody has money. That's why everybody's trying to swoop up all the free transfers that they
can get. If Real Madrid are saying
they could buy a whole new team if they had money. They could buy a whole new team if they had money. At the rate the market is now, they could buy a whole new team.
If Real Madrid are like, yo, we don't have money, we're selling our stars.
Varane, we're selling our superstar right now, our superstar defender, we're selling right now.
That's when we know that there's a problem in the market. Because the guys that are spending frivolously, Man City, has Man City done any business this transfer window? Probably be the wildest transfer for me is if Man City are like, I bet, let's buy Pogba. I feel like the Premier League
wouldn't sell him to them.
Yeah?
We wouldn't sell him to him.
Yeah. But like if that even was a potential thing, Premier League.
No, that's when you know. That's now when we know that Pogba has no respect for Man United. Like if Pogba willingly goes,
did Man U have respect for Pogba at some point? I don't know. We could argue yes, no. I mean,
don't do that. Don't do that. Don't compare and cause chaos amongst the ranks.
I'm playing.
You're trying to cause chaos amongst the ranks.
I'm playing. I'm there to ruffle the feathers of Man U fans that are watching, that are shaking. You know what? I think.
No, honestly speaking, like I think besides everything that we're talking about now, quietly confident. Let me put it this way. I think a team is gonna put the beating on some teams.
You know, a team that I think is also like quietly confident, and they're kind of moving mad in terms of like the amounts that they're being linked with, right? Chelsea just signed.
I knew you were going there.
Chelsea just signed Jules Kounde, right? they bid north of 100 million for Erling Haaland. And I'm looking at Chelsea and I'm like, firstly, I'm saying, as an Arsenal fan, we beat Chelsea twice this past season.
They are dying.
They won the UEFA Champions League. We beat the UEFA Champions League winners. Hence, we're winning the league. We're winning the league.
Okay, my guy.
Plus
like,
one equals two.
I hate to burst your bubble, but like, listen, if we have to be honest, look, to be fair, like, I think just to talk about Chelsea and obviously the spending spree and then having money, then they had a transfer ban, so they were forced to save money. So they would literally have money in the tap. Then they came out of the gate and then they bought the whole of German football.
FIFA career mode.
So the problem is those guys didn't click. So all those guys who didn't click, are we giving them another season or are we offloading some? If we're not offloading some, irrespective of that, last season it didn't work 100%. So we need to bring in some players. And that's why essentially we're starting to see that. I think they basically have 2 transfer windows worth of money in the cap. And that's what they're busy using now.
I don't think they have a choice. They have a choice in terms of offloading some of those players, right? Because the scenario is the amount that some of those players were bought at, right? They're not worth that now. They're gonna make a loss, like a hard loss, specifically on Werner.
If they don't offload now,
they're gonna make like a hard loss. So I think they have to keep them at least for 2 seasons.
Or they keep them, and Timo Werner literally switches it on next season, and now his value is once again through the roof.
No, my brother.
I do think.
We don't do that in the Premier League. We don't do that in the Premier League. You can't just come here and just one season you bet and then no. We don't do that. You'll get whooped. Phil Jones on your neck. Don't play. Quick. No stress. But yeah, look, Chelsea.
I hear you.
I am looking forward to Chelsea like really doing something next season, man. I think they've got a good team. I don't know if it's championship winning caliber yet. I don't always trust the form of teams at the tail end of the season because people were like, Chelsea was probably one of the best teams at the end of the season. I'm like, the season's over. It doesn't even matter. Like, they were fighting for.
Don't come switch it on when it doesn't matter.
Dog. It would be like a bouncer stopping. Like it would be a bouncer allowing a fight to happen.
Let's not do that. They did win the Champions League.
Sure, but now we're talking about Premier League. Let's also be honest. They only won the UEFA Champions League because Pep decided that he was mega mind and didn't play with a out and out striker. So I mean, it's almost like Pep, you did this to yourself and us because now we have to watch these people gloat over something they did not deserve.
Do you know what the really sad part is? Like, Pep Guardiola does this stuff. When it works, everybody calls him a genius. I'm just here sitting and waiting for the days that it doesn't work because I'm that guy. I'm like, listen, football has been around for many years.
You're waiting for the doubtful.
Don't come disrespect us, man.
And look, football is
center back, like wing backs are playing a center back.
Yeah, look,
there's no wing backs and then there's CDA. I literally don't know what
I personally enjoy the football era of both Alex and Arsene Wenger, where it was out and out because that was football in its essence, bro. Like that was literally football in its essence. Like bulldoze the other guy as a team. Yeah, because the thing is, the problem is with trying to outthink another manager or another team is that you end up outthinking yourself. And that happens to Pep every single season. He ends up outthinking himself.
He outthinks himself.
Yeah, that's his kryptonite. And now look at like
I don't know I don't know if you watched All or Nothing, or what's the show where they follow the different teams.
The Man City one. I watched
and
bits and pieces.
the Man City one. But that was the first time ever that I saw Pep Guardiola properly sweating.
Really?
They were preparing for the match against Liverpool, and then they still lost.
Hey,
my brother, when I tell you, Liverpool was cooking at the time.
It was lit in the dressing room.
When Sadio Mane was still Sadio Mane, my friend, was actually, just like seeing them squirm and how they're actually trying to find plans to nullify the Liverpool team.
Love to see it. But that was also like I liked those Man City versus Liverpool matchups, because that was almost like firstly, I don't think Jurgen ever overthinks, because Jurgen's thing is, I will dominate you. Yeah, I will dominate you with my style of football, right? But the styles of football are so like they're different. While Pep focuses on space, Jurgen focuses on possession and gegen pressing and all those kind of things. It's always an interesting matchup, right?
For me, like it's actually really interesting that you mentioned that. Thinking about that. It's actually really interesting that you mentioned that, because thinking back now, I actually enjoy watching at least the recent times before Van Dijk's injury, etc., when Liverpool was actually cooking. I enjoyed watching Liverpool and City more than I used to watching the El Clasico. This was actually a lot more exciting than the El Clasico.
Yeah. No, but that makes perfect sense, because also El Clasico kind of lost its zhuzh when let's be fair, when Ronaldo left. When Ronaldo left, because it stopped being, because at some point it was less Barcelona versus Real Madrid and more Messi versus CR7. Yeah, and now Messi's gone. I mean, Ronaldo's gone. It's like, it's just Barcelona and Real Madrid. And then now we're like, but these aren't the Barcelona teams of old. Hey, this is not the Madrid team of old. This is not the
Galacticos. They're starting to look like normal teams. They're looking like normal teams.
And they're getting
it's like watching Stoke and Leicester.
Dog, and it's like they're getting whooped like normal teams sometimes, because you always see them and you're like, you're kind of looking funny under the lights.
Simeone is the one who's loving it.
Oh yes, I mean, look at
like,
him.
Okay, come here. Let me work you guys a little bit.
Let me smack
when
you
guys
around.
Were running around here with demigods, now it's us now, humans against humans.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see Griezmann back at Atletico. No, yeah, there was some point there was gonna be a swap between Griezmann and Saul Niguez, but that kind of broke down because like Griezmann also.
So Griezmann is staying now.
Yeah, because he's but the thing is, Atletico don't need Griezmann, because also his wages were too high. Like wages were too high. Like Barcelona are literally just trying to offload guys with wages that are high.
When there's no longer a bed for you at your mother's house, that's what's happening. You decided to grow up. You decided to leave. Like, now there's no longer a bed for you.
Now it's like, what were you doing? What were you doing? You left. And that time you left and you didn't even do anything great when you left. Now you've come back to us. No, man.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
But
it's crazy time.
I'm actually really looking forward to it. So, like, I think for all the guys watching, thanks so much for watching. Absolutely appreciate the love. But like, I think most importantly is next week we are starting the league. We're gonna share the link with everybody. We're also
wait! Before you continue, I've actually been going through like some of the comments and stuff, and obviously been having chats with some of the people in the comments. One comment struck out, and I'll probably edit it like on the top or something. It's from Mr. Don, right? So Mr. Don watched our previous chat around Benzema, right? And you, sir, were coming at Benzema and saying Benzema is not a class player. And Mr. Don was like, yo, he's a Real Madrid fan and he fully believes that Benzema is one of the best to do it in his position. What do you have to say to Mr. Don?
Look, firstly, Firstly, shout out to Mr. Don for actually hitting us up in the comment section. So guys, please do hit us up in the comment section. You actually see that we actually do read these and actually do reply. But listen, like if I got that comment from somebody who wasn't a Real Madrid fan, I might scale it a little bit higher because obviously he's just a fanboy. He's gonna obviously speak for his players. But look, I think having watched the episode back, I have to be honest and say I was speaking a little bit reckless. In that Ben does make her dance sometimes. Listen, Ben does make her dance sometimes.
Yeah.
The problem is just, and like you said, and I think when I went and sat down and looked at it back again, he had always been in the shadow of guys that were actually demigods, like I said, so guys that were actually like properly shining. So his shine was always like a little bit dwarfed, but doesn't mean that he didn't shine. So like, I mean, in that regard, I take 2 steps back and I say it. I say, okay, no, I was speaking a little bit reckless, but let's be honest, Ben, you definitely will.
You were doing so well. You were doing so well.
Let me just finish. Go. Although in a crowd of strikers, you might select Benzema, but before selecting him, you will ask who else is available.
No, but who is in the crowd?
That's all I'm gonna say. There's Uncle Lewandowski. Like if we're looking at the newer generation, we're looking at Haaland. If we're looking at like a stable, steady strike force, Aguero and them have always been there. Okay, my guy, the list is there. The guys that have been scoring goals.
I genuinely think Benzema is, you can call him amongst those people.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When you're looking at the crowd, some people might choose him.
But I feel like that would be in a scenario, in that scenario, it would depend who you appreciate, right? People
and what type of striker you're looking for.
Exactly. If you're looking for someone to hold up play and do all those kind of things, you might look at Lewandowski, Haaland, at Ibra also in his age and stuff. You might look at those players, but if you want someone to just also connect and score.
Can I throw you a wild card? And I dare you to disrespect it. Jamie Vardy.
I would never disrespect, because when Vardy's around, it's a party. When Vardy's around, it's a party. He is the most underrated striker. That man can score goals, bro. You know what? And you know what, Ed? I'm glad you brought this up.
He's a hound dog. He sniffs them out.
And I'm glad you brought this up. Because I always, when I'm always going around with fans around their specific like strikers in their teams and stuff, they're like, yeah, but our player does this, he does that, and he does this. But I'm like, he's a striker. He doesn't score goals. What's the point of having him in the team?
It's the goal.
Because I'm like, it doesn't matter how well you hold up play or do this. If you're at least not smacking 15 goals in a season,
what are you doing? Exactly.
Dog. And Jamie Vardy does
the only reason that I actually brought this up, and I was kind of thinking top strikers in the world, and kind of like, if I had to put a list of strikers for people to actually choose from, and like serious strikers. So obviously the Canes, etc., will be there because previous seasons he did well. But for me, if I have to talk about consistency, I'm talking about age, the level at which he's doing, carrying a team. An obvious difference when he's in the team and when he's not in the team. There's a very obvious difference.
Yep.
More things like that. Dude. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, football is one of those things that you can literally sit here and debate, because like just thinking about like a dream list already, I'm kind of like,
because I'm just like,
maybe
now
what we need to do, maybe what we need to do in the next episode also, and I think this will just be a really cool one leading up to the new season, and I think the fans will actually enjoy this. It's just doing like a little bit of a look back at some of the top players from last season, the guys that worked, the guys that didn't work, and our predictions for those players for this season.
Yeah,
what we think,
and also
kind of find like top players and players that didn't do so well,
and also some breakout players. Like a lot of players broke out, like Renato Sanchez. Renato Sanchez was whack at Swansea. He goes to France, and then now literally big teams.
killing it, owning
Exactly.
it. You know,
So I think players like that, like across the leagues, really they broke out and they're really stamping their mark and stuff.
I already want you to please do me a favor and just sit and think about Madison and Tillman, about that combination, my brother. I still believe in my heart of hearts, right? That those boys, in terms of controlling a game, I know, like you see, here's the thing. I hate it when you do that. I hate it when you do that because the guys don't play for top tier teams. I love to see a player, right, who plays in a team that's less than and he's punching above his weight. So the same reason that you love Grealish, right?
Oh, no.
The exact same reason that you love Grealish is exactly the same reason that when I'm watching Leicester City, right, I sit and watch specific players. And that's when I know that this coach has something. Because I don't know if you know that Leicester City have, and this, I'm already telling you that Leicester City is my wild card team again for this season. But I'm telling you, dude, these guys are just consistent. They just keep doing.
Look, I can't hate on Leicester City, and I won't hate on Leicester City. On any day, they can beat any team. What I will not stand for is
Leicester ending above Arsenal.
100%. It cannot happen again. You know why, ne? When Leicester won the league, it was supposed to be our season. It was literally, we ended up second. We fumbled the bag. I have never forgiven them for that. I don't care how well.
I've never seen so many teams fumble the bag, my friend. Oh my goodness. You guys were tripping over each other, fumbling the bag.
Last season alone, we fumbled the bag in the semi-final. But anyway, I think we can really sum it up from there. Guys, please just keep on comments, just put in the comments. We do answer. Like button, please. Yeah, we do answer in the comments. We really love the conversations that happen. Like I remember, when was it? I think I forgot this video we were doing, and then there were literally full conversations that was going on in the chats.
They were happening at the bottom.
Yeah. So I think those things are really dope because also we do respond to them, and also we bring them up when we're having conversations now.
We're having a conversation.
Exactly. Also, shout out to
it will be really exciting, man. It will be really exciting. Shout out to Mr. Don for commenting, but everybody else comments, and we have some really fun pieces coming up. So yeah, please do come back, check back, subscribe, like, share. Remember the family meeting conversation we had, just as a footnotes in your family meeting. All agendas, please subscribe.
Exactly. Put it in the agenda. Let nobody forget. So yeah, man. Guys, we'll check you out on the next episode of the Football Agenda ZA show. This is Zuko and
Adeli. Peace, guys.
Signing out.
Absolutely love the love, man.
All right. Cheers, guys.